My name is Fumio Nanjo. I started to work for art since around 1980s. And since then I'm working in Tokyo, but also I worked for many projects outside of Japan. I did the Taipei Biennial, Yokohama Triennale, and Singapore Biennial, a few other biennials committed. But Honolulu is, I think, very special because it's between Asia and America. And it's a very nice location to bridge two different areas, which both of them are very active in contemporary art. So if Honolulu Biennial can take a right position, it can bridge different type of artworks in this region, including the art in the Pacific. So it will show a new vision on art. Firstly, this is rather new region for me. So maybe I should confess that my research is not deep enough, but I'm depending on a lot of information from my colleagues, curatorial advisors, and curator, Nahiraka. All these people gave me the information and the visions. Here, the vision is different. I think it's more related to the nature and culture and society in this region, which is very different from other Asian countries and maybe different from American view. So I'm curating, but also I'm learning from it. And learning process makes this biennial very unique. Usually biennials and triennials are backed or sponsored by or organized by institutions such as museum or the government cultural department. So in the case of Honolulu, it is more private initiative and it's an independent foundation. So of course it's different. Some people, particularly professional people, sometimes complain that there are too many biennials, triennials. But I think needs of the biennials are not for art professionals. It is for the audience in the local area, the city or the state. If they want to see new contemporary art in a regular way and also branding their city in the contemporary art world, biennial is fulfilling the need. Because even if you have an exhibition of contemporary art in each local museums, ordinary people don't go to see it. Only those who love contemporary art, they come to the museum. But if you make a big event like biennial, ordinary people will become curious and then they come. Maybe some of them are not trying to see contemporary art, but they are trying to see something new, something artistic. Even they don't know contemporary art, they are curious. And then it gives a good opportunity for those people to see the contemporary art. So it is educational opportunity, but also it is a good marketing opportunity. And it is, I think, at the end, it creates a new audience in each local area, local regions. So I think biennial is still quite viable format for each city. The biennial is actually putting local artists on the same stage as international artists, which is a great opportunity for local people as well. And firstly, it will be seen internationally. and international audience will discover a new artist, they try to read the culture behind it, background of each artworks, try to learn the history. Biennial will function also a very positive way to the local art world. And by that, biennial is quite important for local and also for international. Drastic change happened in the art world. The view on art shifted from modernist style to the more postmodern style, which means that the modernists believed in the very universal beauty of the color and the forms. But it ended up, in a sense, that with the format of minimalism and conceptualism, and also, I don't know how to say, very extreme way of modernist ideas on view of the world. After that, gradually more local style art emerged. Maybe it was influenced by Asian art, and they are trying to tell local stories, and each works are telling different stories. Sometimes we don't understand. We have to learn. We have to learn the history behind the work, the society, environment, the nature, and we discover a different view on art. So if each artist tells these kind of stories, we have to learn one to another, one by one. What does this mean, you know? And it's quite interesting situation that the layers and the accumulation of those stories creating a new world, new vision on the world through the art. So the style of art became more storytelling, and it is more colorful and figurative. And by this way, I think the definition of art shifted from very universal color and format to the storytelling, very local, and the meaning of the artworks has to be studied by everybody. And by this way, it became, in a sense, global in another way. All the artworks of each culture, I mean, the cultural background became more even, and everything could be on the same stage. The matter is whether it is convincing to the international audience to be impressed, to enjoy, or to discover something new. I think that if this direction goes on, gradually the subject and the material of art becomes no more linked to the artist identity in the future. I say this because I experienced one work in Taipei Biennial that one African artist made a big installation with a video showing. The video was taken in Taipei. So the images of the video, are all about Taiwan, Taipei. So by first glance, I thought it is made by Taiwan artist, but actually it was made by African artist. Then if this phenomenon happens for every artist, the artist will pick the subject from each area and make artworks. It does not look like showing the identity of that artist. But art is free, whatever artist wants to do, they can do it. So this type of artworks may increase in the future. Art is shifting to the next stage, maybe, after just postmodern Asian or African art, to the next stage, which is more, I don't know how to say, mixed use of subject from each different cultures. It's a very complex issue, so I don't know how to describe. Of course, recently, the Asian art were very strong in the market that I know. Particularly Chinese art was strong. But we have to be careful that the value of art is not just one single standard. Of course, the value in the market is one of the parameters to judge the value of the art. But another is more academic or aesthetic, or maybe people's preferences. It's all different. The market value is supported by collectors, basically. But it might be different from general people. So Asian art had been very strong, but in what sense it was strong has to be digested and analyzed. I think still in a both way, Asian art was strong, but but the evaluation of Asian art is not yet fixed. It is still going on. Whether this work from India is it good enough, or whether this work from Indonesia or from Asia, China, or from Japan, what does it mean? Is it speaking to the people enough? Is it convincing? What the concept? All these things has to be in discourse. And through the discourse, it will be, in the future, it will be more standardized. So I feel it's in the process. Asian art is in the process. Market is always up and down, up and down. But you don't have to really depend on the value of market. I think curation is an interesting job. Nobody really defined what it means. Some curators take it easy, so they just choose artists. Some curators choose artists and artworks. Some really try to raise fund even. What is the limit of the job? What is the, yeah. So, what I often try to tell to the young curators, it was necessary to study about curation and the history of curation and how others do. But also, you should not be bound by that. You have to create your own way of curation. If you want to show particular artist, but it's too costly, you have to raise fund. It's kind of expression, another way of expression by curators. Artist is expressing through their works, but curator express their ideas through exhibitions. You cannot make artworks, Curator cannot make artworks, but curator has to talk to the artist, create a new vision on each artworks. Even existing works, you can sometimes reread the meaning, then you create a new value. So I think curator has to be very creative, not following the rigid rules or what is right and what is wrong.